Hello, Internet people. I'm Hamster Bomb, and I'm going to be talking about a few things today really quickly, because I'm going to start another sub-series. I know I probably shouldn't be starting more things, but I'm really excited about this. I've been wanting to talk about Magic the Gathering for a very long time now. I've been playing this game for, wow, I think, I'm going to guess since, '09, maybe '08, I'm not sure, but it's been a long time. And I have lots and lots of Magic cards. This over here is actually my section of just where I keep my finished decks and stuff to play with. And before I actually start the series itself, I wanted to have like a quick little vlog-ish video, kind of catching you guys up on a couple things. Christmas is obviously just over, and I want to talk about a few things before we get into the actual series itself, because I know I'm going to put too much in there in the first one where I just want to talk about, like, decks that I have right now. Nothing that's like built online. This is just stuff that like I love collecting certain cards, and I might play like a tribal of that deck, or like I just really liked what this one did that I had from a long time ago, so I had a whole deck based on that. And I kind of want to like go through all the cards and like tell stories of them, and at the same time kind of show you like what's in there. Some of them overall this time, some of those cards have actually become kind of valuable. Others are probably junk and I should switch them out. But either way, you would let me know. So this is just physically where I keep all of these, if you're curious. I've got like this bookshelf over here, and I keep, what you can see on the top back here are perlers of, whoa, knocked one of them over. I made for basically command zones if we're playing Commander for Magic, which is actually, I remember when Commander came out, and this format was a lot of fun, but we'll get into that when I talk about the decks. But basically, I made a command zone for each of the Commander's themes. This is actually going to be for the first episode, if you have a guess of what that's going to be. And that is basically just for the Commanders themselves. I got some different sleeves, or not sleeves, these are playmats. I'll probably show you guys those later. These are a couple, when they had those a long time ago when they were selling Commander decks, they actually gave you like these oversized foil versions of some of them. So this is a spoiler of two of the Commanders that we're going to be playing. Unfortunately, I don't have the one of, let me see. Well, they don't have one for that deck because it didn't come with it. And that one back there, no. But these are not really pre-cons that I'm playing with. These are heavily modified. It's really just like, that happens to be the commander of the deck. Down there's really where I store all the Magic stuff, and it's not really all Magic, and it's not really all Commander, though Commander is definitely Kim and I's favorite way to play. I've got, so let me see, and this one is actually just a couple undecks, which if you know much about Magic the Gathering, those are the silly cards. We're gonna have a really joke episode going through those, I'm sure, later. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks are in there too, if you guys are curious. I do have Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks in there. And this is all Pokemon. We don't ever really play Pokemon, but I've got them stuck there just in case. This one is like a Kyogre and then like a Groudon deck, so they can play against each other. This, I've actually got a whole video on that one. That's a Rayquaza deck. But anyway, for the Magic stuff, I think all three of these are filled with Commander decks. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. So there should be 6. I don't think I have 6. I have 5. Well, there's something else in there. A lot of other regular decks, too. I'm sure I'm going to get to that eventually. Some cool spin-down things like that. We probably don't have to get through all of that stuff. But there's extra counters and things. But so I'm really excited to get through and talk about those because I've loved Magic for a long time. In fact, a funny little thing, and I might mention this later, I, to this day, tap everything the wrong direction. If you know much about Magic, you're supposed to, like, to expend energy for something or make it a creature attack or anything, you have to tap it, which is rotate them to the right. There's even a symbol on the card that tells you you are rotating it to the right. I always go left, and I didn't do this just to be a jerk or just to be a contrarian. I learned by watching a friend teach me from across the table, and he kind of like had my hand on the floor so like we could see each like what was going on. He kind of taught me through the steps of how to play the game. And that's how I learned it. I actually learned the Pokemon card game first when I was really little. And that was actually when it first came out. I remember playing just base. And I had a lot of first edition cards, too, when it first came out. Speaking of Pokemon, we have a special angel on top of the tree. My 2-year-old calls him Tudu, and he lights the tree up. Obviously a Pikachu. I think I just showed that in a recent Playing With Myself episode. But anyway, yeah, I played a lot of Pokemon card game. I never did any tournaments or anything like that. Same for any of these. I think I've played in 2 Magic tournaments ever. I wasn't really a big fan of them, and found out later that one of the guys who I played with, who ended up being my opponent, the same person, like 8 years apart. I played one tournament, came back way later, played another one. It was the same guy. And I found out afterwards that he was making up rules and cheating to win. So that's not fun. It's supposed to be like a fun game for everyone to come together and play. So typically, I'm just a casual player, just wants to play at home, play with Kim. If friends come over, we'll play some games. The same for Yu-Gi-Oh! Too. I had some really funny decks, though, that I put together. We'll probably talk about that adventure way down the line. I'm an old man in his 30s who just wants to ramble about his old collectible stuff. So for Magic, I just wanted to go through like each of these and just talk about like, okay, so these are like what the exact cards are. This is kind of how like, I collected these to get to this point. It's why I built this deck. And just like tell the stories of what they are, because it's the stories of them that I like so much. It's not like, you know, I want to go out to tournaments and like just beat people with these decks. I honestly don't even know if these are any good. I know I've heard people measure decks now in like a scale of 1 to 10, but everyone jokingly says it's a 7. I have no idea what that means. You know, I never played against a 10. I've never played against a 1, and I can't make the gauge of everything in between there. But anyway, yeah, that's basically it for the Magic stuff. We're going to be talking about like one deck at a time. I'm probably going to start with my Commanders first, because those are the ones we play the most. Even though Kim and I just play usually just one-on-one against each other, we still like playing Commander. And typically what I try and do for power level is I want to make sure that they're just gauged to play against each other fairly. So, like, for example, one of them is like an Angels, and I have another that's like a Dragons themed deck, and those fly, obviously. And then I have like a Zombies deck, and they don't have flying. So there's some checks in that deck to make sure that flying can be taken care of. So that like the decks are all made just balanced to play against each other. Also, so like if a friend comes over, I can just hand him a deck and you can play. It'd also be great once the baby gets old enough and she wants to play with dad in this old card game thing. Maybe probably not. I don't know. Hopefully, I think it's a great learning tool for math and problem solving, strategy. It's a lot of things. Magic is a really great game. I really think it is. Even though Wizards of the Coast has been doing some questionable things lately and pushing it in directions that are kind of anti-consumer and oh well. I mean, I am fortunately not that invested. I just like collecting a lot of this stuff, and I think it's a lot of fun. You know, now that you've made it to the end of this video, I just want to show off one real thing that I really liked. So, for one, here's a few perlers, if you can see, that I just recently made. These are all going to be going upstairs in my office eventually. I have a few more from Shin Megami Tensei. There's Pyro Jack, Jack Frost, and Angel. And I started making from Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I found ways to, like, creatively smash those character sprites down and try and make perlers out of them. So hopefully they look good. Let me know what you guys think. These are actually the only ones that I had to custom make. And this, well, technically I kind of did this too. Link never actually does this in the game, but still, I wanted a Link and Zelda as one perler from Link to the Past to go with the Ganon I made. Also will be up in my office. I am going to be making these guys in commissions if you guys are interested for any perler stuff. And then what is laying on top of them is the thing that I was just excited and wanted to show you guys about. This is the Dark Souls board game. This is what Dad got for his birthday, and he's... Wait, birthday? No. That, Christmas. God, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, okay? Honestly, I was up really late playing Xenogears, and I'm having a lot of fun with that game, by the way. And in Xenogears, the issue I was having was my game crashed, like... about 45 minutes in after I beat a boss and a bunch of things, and I had to replay all of it, and I didn't want to do it when I woke up, so, you know, I'm just making bad decisions, but, man, these things are huge. They look really cool. I'm excited to play this, but still, I don't know if you guys are interested in other things like that. I just kind of felt like it was semi-relevant because I don't just play video games. I love all sorts of games, even though, of course, this board game is based off of a video game, but still, I'm kind of interested in getting through to paint some of these guys. I believe this is the Dancer of the Boreal Valley from Dark Souls 3, which I have beaten. I would love to play some more of the Dark Souls series, but I still have to hunt down some of those things. Anyway, oh yeah, another thing. One of you guys pointed out in one of my earlier vlog videos, behind me, this wedding photo, if you wanted a better look at it, that's me, Kim, and I have a sister and brother who joined me for my wedding. And yeah, it was actually a really nice time. It was a long story, but anyway, yeah, that's what the fixer was. I was like walking you guys around down here, showing off all sorts of things in the house, and I completely forgot the giant picture. The reason it's so big, it was actually my parents. They had it up at their place, like up kind of high, so they wanted it was kind of bigger. And then they replaced it. My brother was married just this last year. I think, yeah, time flies after the pandemic thing kind of threw everything off. Yeah, it was in 21. And so they just recently got married, so they switched out the picture with a new one, and I believe Clover is in that one. So, yeah, Clover's in that one. She's like 8 months or something, so we're holding her in that picture. So they wanted to switch it and update it. And they just kind of gave this to us because they, I guess, didn't like the frame and the mat or something, whatever. Anyway, so Magic the Gathering. We're going to have a lot of videos, a lot of fun to talk about these, and this is not all of it. Not all of it, no. I have like 5 big binders upstairs with extra stuff. I have them sorted by color, and then inside of color by rarity. If that drives you nuts because it's not by set, I'm sorry, I don't collect sets. I just had like a booster here, a booster there, and just kind of threw everything in. So it's probably going to be a mess, but still, there's I have a binder of white, green, blue, red, black, multicolor. Even if something's an artifact, sometimes it will still like stay in multicolor if it needs more than one color. And then there's one for artifacts. I've got a whole chunk for land. We don't really need to dig through land unless someone's really curious about like what the alternate land stuff is. I might throw at the end of artifacts. Same for tokens. And then I have this special one that has just stuff that we were collecting. So like, for example, Kim was collecting like griffins, angels. I was collecting dragons for a while. And those are all like in their own page, just kind of semi-organized from there. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to go through the decks first, one by one. Each one's going to get a video, and then after that, we're going to go through the binders, like one color at a time gets a video, because I know it's probably going to take me a while to do these. Obviously, I'm not going to do it hand-holding it like this. This was just a very quick thing where I can hold the camera, go yaddy-daddy-daddy-daddy, and tell you about a bunch of stuff that I want to do for the series, and not actually waste all of the time in the first video doing this that I knew I was going to do. So hopefully that sounds like a good time. I asked you guys on Twitter if you thought, me talking about Magic would be any fun, because it's really just me wanting to share more game stuff with you, and unanimously you all said yes. So yay! This is also me kind of stalling because for some reason I can't get my capture card working right to film some more of that Pokewalker game, which I have the thing in my pocket right now. I promise. I am leveling everybody up. So that's still working. I just gotta get the capture card working. That thing has always been finicky, but either way, that is all I've got for this video. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Remember to like the videos and subscribe for more, and I will see you all in the next video. Booyah!